Good morning. Thank you, Super Cindy, for that great introduction. And today, start over. Okay. Good morning, and thank you, Super Cindy, for that great introduction. I am Cedric Dawkins, your guest host for 99 Jams Community Matters. And this morning, we would like to welcome Mr. Gale Nelson, Executive Director of the Big Brothers Big Sisters Miami chapter. Please, Mr. Nelson, introduce yourself.
Well, good morning. Happy to be here. It's really a pleasure to serve as president and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters Miami, especially at a time like this.
Yes, definitely. Well, tell us a little about your journey and how your journey led you to Big Brothers Big Sisters Miami.
Well, it's interesting, Cedric, and it's just wonderful being with you this beautiful Sunday morning as we think about my journey. I mean, I grew up inner city Toledo, Ohio. Parents divorced when I was 2, and I always had an affinity to children and just seeing through coaching, through folks coaching me. And when I first came down here to Miami right after Hurricane Andrew, I ran a juvenile justice boarding school. 13, 18-year-old boys who had all broken the law lived at the school that I ran down in South Dade. But what broke my heart is we saw these kids truly transform, but in order for them to get into the school, they had to be arrested. So I said, I need to pivot and really work in prevention so that our boys don't have to wait until they get arrested, our children. So that's what led me to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Miami in 2006.
Nice. So now let me just ask you, so me personally, growing up in Miami, I used to always see these Big Brothers Big Sisters commercials with the kids going to play with their mentors and stuff. Has the mission and the methodology of the organization changed over the years, or is it pretty much still the same, partner with, an adult?
I love that question. The core mission of Big Brothers Big Sisters, our brand of mentoring is one-to-one. That has not changed. We're 115 years old nationally. In Miami, we've been serving the community since 1958. And there's Big Brothers Big Sisters affiliates throughout the state of Florida, incredible affiliates throughout the state of Florida, serving the respective counties. But one of the things I will share with you is it's interesting you mentioned seeing the commercials. What has, I won't say changed, what we've enhanced is we give people menus of options on how they mentor, but it's still one-to-one, and that's our claim to fame.
Okay. So give me a few examples of how it has changed.
Well, one of the programs we have, again, community-based mentoring, one-to-one. You visit the child twice a month, face-to-face in the community, hence the name, community-based mentoring. We have school-based mentoring, 1 hour per week in a school-based setting. And so for folks who don't have the time to mentor outside of the school day, they can mentor 1 hour a week in a school or a site. At our building in just south of Miami International Airport, we have volunteer bigs who come in 1 hour a week to mentor their little. We call them bigs and littles. But then, yes, everything's big or little, if you will. But then also we have for corporations, get the business community involved. Some of the largest companies, in South Florida, you think about the carnivals, the Baptist Health South Florida, Ryder, for example, even law firms like Greenberg Traurig, they participate in school to work. Once a month, high school students visit their bigs at work. So it's workplace mentoring. So from all the way from K through 12, there's something for everybody.
That's nice. That's really, I'm sure the kids get a kick out of going to the actual workplace, sitting, possibly in a boardroom, at a conference table with some of their mentors.
Today, I had a conversation with one of our alumni big brothers, Lewis. He was a general manager at the Hyatt Regency downtown Miami. His little brother graduated from Miami Norland Senior High, Tyrone. Tyrone, as he went to the workplace, he was in school to work, but he graduated from high school, got a scholarship from us, graduated from Bethune-Cookman, and he went into the hospitality program. So his big brother, general manager of the hotel, but now watch this. And then when I talked to Lewis, he said, we just got back from Hong Kong. He said he's family now. So, from Miami Norland, Bethune-Cookman, Tyrone is now one of the managers at the Hyatt Regency in Jacksonville, Florida, and he's family to Lewis. So they did a family trip to Hong Kong, not so
nice.
Powerful.
Yeah, that's very powerful. A lot of times just for kids seeing certain images, it helps them to dream bigger. A lot of times when they just live at home in a box on their block, things just seem unimaginable. But once you kind of put them in work settings, different settings, they begin to think, oh, maybe I could do this, or maybe, what do we need to do for me to become whatever the profession may be. So that is very, very encouraging. Now you mentioned the one-on-one mentoring, and so I need to ask, of course, as you know, we have been living in some very uncertain times and scary times with the COVID-19 pandemic. How has the organization adjusted to this unfortunate, but looks like new normal reality?
Well, the core mission, back to one of your original questions, Cedric, the core mission of Big Brothers Big Sisters is to ignite the power and promise of our youth. Our vision nationally and certainly locally is that all youth achieve their potential. Even before the pandemic, our children, our youth were challenged, socioeconomically challenged in so many different ways. And so we've had to pivot. And that pivot includes, we continue to make matches, but we're doing everything in a virtual space to maintain that physical distancing, to keep everybody safe. But let me tell you something, when it comes to the need for that emotional support, the need for the academic support, our littles still need us. And so the biggest pivot we made was to really leverage technology to make matches in all those programs I named earlier, school to work, community-based, as well as site-based mentoring. Also, we do a Tuesday food distribution every Tuesday at our building. We address food insecurity because again, when these kids, they get most of their meals at school. And so with some of the challenges, and the school districts have done a great job in helping mitigate some of those needs, but food, we call it the FACTS, F-A-C-T-S, food, access, connection, transportation, and support. And through the facts, or just the facts, it really speaks to addressing some of the basic needs of our littles.
Now let's repeat that again. Go a little slower. What are the facts?
Yes, sir. F-A-C-T-S. Food, we address food insecurity. Weekly food distribution. Access, the A stands for access. That access speaks to all of the programs we have, such as we did a workout online. We've done some comic book illustrations online is what we're currently doing. So giving these youth access to various programs. The C, the connectivity or connection, everything's being done through technology, and we leverage that. And certainly the T, transportation, we deliver. Some of the families could not get to the building, so we deliver food and supplies, basic essentials to some of the homes of our waiting list, as well as matched littles. And the S stands for support. That's where mentoring comes in. That's our brand. So having those bigs communicate with their littles via phone, via text, but also via platforms like we're doing as well. When you think about virtual communications, at least you can see someone and still talk with them. Connectivity is huge. Just the facts.
I love that. I love that. Well, let me ask you now, prior to the pandemic, what are some of the activities that Big Brother, Big Sister would have the children engage in? Like, did you go to any sporting events, any theme parks? I mean, what are some of the average field trips for the bigs to go with the littles?
You got the jargon down, so you get an A for that, Cedric. One of the things, and we call them match activities or impact activities. I mean, going to a Heat game with our partnership with the major sports teams in town, Marlins, Heat, going over to a Dolphins game as well. Those are regular weekend outings, if you will. Also, going to the museum, going to arts activities, cultural activities, athletic activities as well. And one of the things that we're doing now is, unfortunately, everybody during COVID, we're not having those regular outdoor activities or face-to-face. And so we have to create all of that in the virtual space right now. But folks coming out to the building and spending some time with educational activities as well, that's an ongoing basis. That's the norm. But we have to adjust now, as everyone else has to do.
Yes, and now how have the kids adjusted to the virtual platform? Are they feeling it, or are they kind of just going along with it?
Well, as you know, with youth, sometimes they're feeling it, sometimes they're not. One recent event we did a Friday night movie night, but we did it we had a Netflix actress that come on from the Babysitters Club, and we had all the littles on Zoom, and we streamed the movie. So they felt they liked that one a lot.
Oh, okay.
And so youth sometimes are a little moody. No breaking news there, but we
Right.
want to keep it creative. We also have something coming up with Damon John from Shark Tank.
Shark Tank, yes.
Where they've given scholarships to our littles to learn business. It's Damon on Demand. And so now he's talking to them, and they go through these modules on how to be successful in business. So that's exciting.
That is very exciting. Okay, Damon, I see he spreads himself all over the place. That's good.
Relevant.
That's very good. Now, I understand that you all have a few new partnerships. Can you talk about some of those?
One of the things, with crisis comes opportunity. And we recently signed, and we've always partnered with them, but we took it to another level with Florida, with our local HBCU, Historically Black College and University, Florida Memorial University. We created the Lion Partnership, where it's intentional recruitment, because we want to make sure that we have a lot of incredible matches, a lot of cross-cultural matches, but we want to make sure that our littles also see people that look like them. So in the social justice space, we have recruited Bbbs from FMU. We also signed a partnership with NAACP, not only for voter registration, civic engagement, but also intentional recruitment, because women volunteer at a rate of 3 to 1 compared to men. We need more Black men in the mentoring space. And there's no way to sugarcoat that. Our littles, our waiting list are primarily Black boys, and we need to step up and do whatever we can to fill the void.
So now let me ask you, I don't know if you mentioned this earlier, what is the age group of the littles? What is it, from K through 12, or what is the age range, and which ones are, do you feel they're really are best affected with the program?
We serve littles starting at age 5. Now, we serve them all the way through age 25, but let me clarify what I mean by that. We wouldn't match a 23-year-old. We match them no later than high school, no later than 17 years of age. But we will continue to track them through, hopefully, college graduation, and we keep up with our alumni. And so those variety of programs I shared with you, site-based, community-based, and school to work, those transcend K through 12, the various programs. But the most important thing is, if someone wants to be a volunteer, high schoolers can become a Big, and certainly college and above can become Bigs as well.
Oh, okay. Now, I understand you all are also working with the, I'm going to assume, the Miami-Dade chapter of the NAACP?
That is correct, sir. And so with the Lion Partnership, I didn't complete that FMU partnership. It's for Bigs, it's for internships, and also scholarships for our graduating littles to attend historically Black colleges and universities as well. So we're excited.
So not just Florida Memorial, just any HBCU, or they have to go to FLOMO?
They don't have to go to FLOMO. I mean, obviously we're going to take care of home, but we're certainly, like for little brother that just graduated, one of his relatives came to the food distribution, and she said he's in his second year at Howard University. So we want to just support all the HBCUs, but we're certainly not overlooking FLOMO. Okay.
I like that. Now, what about your NAACP partnership? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I had a recent conversation with the president of the NAACP Miami-Dade chapter, Mr. Ruben Roberts.
Yes.
And so our partnership with them will engage. We'll talk about workshops, trainings on social justice. We'll encourage a voter registration year-round, if you will, just to make sure our folks stay civically engaged, but also it will also include recruitment of Bigs of color as well.
So now with all the racial tensions going around with the George Floyds and the Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, has there been any sit down with some of the kids to just kind of see what they're feeling about it, and just kind of gauge what their feelings are? Or do you all even talk about that with the kids, or you leave it up to the Bigs to discuss that with their individual littles?
We all need to talk about it. One of the things, our position is silence is not an option. Obviously, it's uncomfortable for some, but we want everyone to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And to that end, we hosted an all-day conversation on June 19th. We had police chiefs, we had Bigs and littles, even those in law enforcement. We had a straight-up conversation in terms of how kids are feeling. One little in particular, little sister Jordan. She's in her second year at Florida State.
Okay.
And she
My
wants
alma mater.
she wants to be a police officer.
Oh, wow.
Carroll City High School graduate, Cedric. And so her big sister is the police chief of the city of Miami Gardens, Chief Delano Pratt.
Okay. Chief Pratt, yes.
And so big and little. And so obviously we talked to Chief Pratt about social justice. And we have a program called Bbbs in Blue with law enforcement. And so with that, little sister Jordan, but to your question and to the point, she talked about how difficult it was with her friends who were not feeling the police. And she wants to go into law enforcement. And she said, and I quote, "I was really reconsidering my career opportunity or my career goal." And she called her chief. She calls her my chief. And Chief Pratt said, and I quote, "Don't you ever give up on your dreams," end quote. And she is well on her way. She said, just because somebody did something wrong doesn't mean that's not the profession for you. So it's the conversation between bigs and littles is just priceless.
That's really good because, you know, peer pressure can be good, and then sometimes peer pressure can be bad. You know, people can, you know, some kids can encourage each other, and then unfortunately we have sometimes more than less kids who discourage and get them into all kind of things that they have no business being in. So I commend the Big Brothers and Big Sisters organizations for kind of providing an outlet for kids to at least, I guess you would call it like a safe zone or a safe space where they can reach out to their big. I'm assuming they kind of like have personal contact where they can reach them whenever they have a problem. They can reach out to them.
Well, at the end of the day, it's a friendship, and it's, you know, through the lens of mutual trust and respect. And what's beautiful to see, and you're exactly right, these bigs and littles become family. I mentioned Big Brother Lewis. I mentioned little sister Jordan, big sister Delma Noel Pratt. And at the end of the day, they're family. So when do you call your family? You want to talk? Something great happens in your life. You need somebody, you need a shoulder to cry on. That's what mentoring does. And our one-to-one platform provides that for kids. But watch this. Every time you meet a big, they'll say, "I'm getting more out of this than I ever expected." It's not the bigs coming in to save or fix the kids.
Right.
When one-to-one matching, 2 lives are changed forever.
That's very, very nice. Now, let me ask you this. How do you match a big with a little? Does the little say, "Oh, I want to be paired with a police officer, or I want to be paired with a doctor, construction worker," or how do you create that fit that you know probably is going to work out?
It is far from eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I will start with that. The bottom line is we interview every little and the family. We interview all the prospective volunteers. The vetting process is multi-data, reference checks, fingerprinting, as well as the invasive interview. We go pretty deep with the interview so that we can find out likes, dislikes, hobbies, interests, as well as need. And then we make those matches based on those compatibility factors, as well as preferences of the kids, as well as the bigs.
Now, of course, I have to ask, has there ever been any vetted partnerships or, you know, couplings that you've made that just didn't work out? Personalities just couldn't get it together.
Well, what's beautiful about, I'll answer it this way. Just like in life, there's challenges when it comes to relationships. That's like you asking me, has there ever been, if 2 people have ever dated? And of course, we're not eHarmony. We don't make those kind of matches. But when you have situations where there's challenges, we have what's called match support. And so there's a match coach assigned to every relationship. And there's a situation where one big sister said, "My little sister's not talking to me enough. I'm very talkative." But we matched them because she's very talkative and little didn't talk as much. You know, extrovert, introvert. And it takes time. It takes time, Cedric. So, but one particular day, and it was quite moving, I was at the site visit. The little sister had her head down. And the big sister said, "That's a little disrespectful." But what the big sister did not know, it was the anniversary of the little sister's mom's death. She was she got on that bus, went to the site visit, wanted to be with her big sister, but was just overcome with emotion. Once the match support, the match coach gave her some context, they grew stronger and closer and closer. And so, yes, there's challenges. Sometimes the bigs, Miami is a very transient place. South Florida is very transient. So sometimes we have to rematch children for a variety of reasons, but but please understand, for those that are listening who want to become bigs, if there's challenges, the match coach is right there to support every step of the way.
Now, do they provide them? Does the match coach right off the bat provide, context or a background story of the little, or is it something that just kind of comes up, like in that situation where the child was a little, walled, kept themselves like walled in, and you had to bring it up, or is that, just something that's kind of brought out to the big from the gate, just so they kind of know how to gauge the relationship with the child?
Well, there's something called a pre-match conversation. So I'll say, okay. Cedric, let's say I'm the Big Brothers Big Sisters staff. I'm your match. I'm matching you with your little brother. I call you prior to and say, Cedric, your little brother's name is Gale, somewhat talkative. He's 13 years old. He likes sports. So you'll get a general overview. But as with any relationship, certainly, anniversaries of relatives and all that comes up over time because you're building a relationship. But certainly you get some context of the family and the child before you are even matched.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. No, it's interesting. That way you're kind of like not walking into the dark, so to speak. Absolutely. And so all the kids aren't necessarily at risk or been in trouble. They're just kids who just want a companion.
Our kids don't need to be fixed. This is not a punishment. You're going to be matched with a mentor. How dare? No. These kids come from all walks of life. And one of the things, we get referrals from schools, other community-based organizations, parents, relatives, and when we talk about, it's funny using the term at risk. All children are at risk, if you will. We all are at risk, if you will. So, so at the end of the day, any youth who wants and needs a mentor can become a little with Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Cool. I've always been impressed with the program. Just wasn't quite sure how it actually worked. But hearing you, it seems like you all got it all figured out. All the bumps that could possibly go wrong, you all got it figured out. Now, let me ask you, for someone who's listening who wants to become a volunteer with Big Brothers Big Sisters, how can they sign up, or contact the organization and kind of get in the vetting process to become a mentor with the organization?
Well, first of all, for those that are out there, the cost of doing nothing is far too high. Everybody can do something. And one of the great things that can be done right now in the midst of a global pandemic is you can still be matched with a little brother or little sister. And it's very simple. I would do two things. Obviously, I run the Miami affiliate, bbbsmiami.org. bbbsmiami.org is our web page. You can go to the web page, you can sign up. If somebody is outside the Miami area and they want to become a big, bbbs.org. That's our national website. They put in their zip code and they can be matched with a local affiliate wherever they may be. And so that's bbbsmiami.org or bbbs.org.
Oh, okay. Now, do you all have any other social media for the organization that people, if they want to follow you?
Absolutely. I'm at Coach Gale, Gale 69 on IG, and it's at BBBS Miami is our social media handle for IG and Twitter, as well as Facebook.
And do you all have a Facebook page at all?
Yes, at BBBS Miami for Facebook as well.
Okay, for Facebook as well as Instagram.
Correct. At BBBS Miami.
So now, how many is Big Brothers Big Sisters in every city in America, or just major cities? How many affiliates are there?
There's 237 affiliates nationwide. Wow. I have the privilege of serving as the chair of the Large Agency Alliance. Those are the largest affiliates, the New Yorks, Los Angeles, Chicago's, Philadelphia, and certainly Miami. And so in every state, and certainly in our beautiful Sunshine State, we have affiliates that are serving every county in Florida.
Wow. And now what do you call that coalition again of the larger cities?
The Large Agency Alliance, known as the LAA.
And now what cities does that include again?
Those are the largest affiliates throughout. I just gave you a sampling. I didn't go through all of them. We don't have time to go through all of the largest affiliates, but most of the New York, Chicago's, Los Angeles of the world, the larger affiliates. But again, affiliates may differ in size, but the impact of what we do is priceless.
So now, if you gave all the social media information, is there a phone number because not everybody's computer savvy. Is there a phone number that someone can call if they're interested in mentoring with Big Brothers Big Sisters, or just want some information about the Miami affiliate?
Absolutely. 305-644-0066. That's 305-644-0066. And say, hey, I want to learn more about becoming a big, I want to join the team. However they want to frame it, we'd love to get them involved.
Now, is it the same process for a parent who has a child that wants to become a little?
Absolutely. Same phone number, same website, because you can enroll a child through the website, bbbsmiami.org, and that same phone number as well. They can enroll their child. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm very excited for the program. The new logo, it just looks like a whole, it almost looks like a different organization from what I used to grow up, used to see on the commercials back in the day. So I'm excited for you guys and all your new partnerships. Hope everything goes well. You got to come back and talk to us and let us know how things are progressing, especially with the Florida Memorial partnership. That sounds very exciting, and the one with the NAACP. Want to thank you for coming and joining us this Sunday morning, Mr. Nelson. My name is Cedric Dawkins, guest host for Community Matters on 99 Jams. Thank you, and thank you, Supa Cindy, for having me. Thank you, Mr. Nelson, and Big Brothers Big Sisters Miami. Wishing you all a great Sunday, and we will see you all again soon.